This is the Type 68, a Tier 9 Japanese tech tree heavy, and I'd be willing to say one of the best Tier 9 heavies in the game. It kind of encompasses everything you'd want into a single vehicle. It's got decent mobility, fantastic gun depression, or even better mobility. I'm personally running gun depression because I feel like flexibility is something that is super underrated, and don't get me wrong, having the 6 degrees of increased traverse speed and having more terrain crossing capacity is really nice. But I also feel like being able to work ridge lines is pretty dang important, which is what I do with the Type 68. But not only does this vehicle have gun depression, but it also has incredibly strong turret armor, which was really the only weakness with this tank when it was first released. But Wargaming fixed that, making the turret cheeks now about 250-ish mils thick, which means it's quite hard to penetrate them unless you're aiming right at the edge. So it's got strong armor, decent mobility, and the best part is the gun. This vehicle actually features 374 millimeters of heat pen, which is more than what the Type 71 has, and it only has 43 less DPM than the Type 71. Now think about that. I mean, this vehicle literally has better DPM tier for tier than the 10. It's got more penetration than the tier 10, and I mean, it's even got great armor. There's really nothing bad I can say about the Type 68, and because of that, it's such a good heavy. So here we are in our first battle. Up against us, we have a Conqueror, Jagdtiger, and an Object 752. So even though we're not up against tier 10s, I'd be willing to say that that lineup is just about as hard to fight as tier 10s with the Jagdtiger and 752. We're going to start this battle off by making our way into the front line to try and support our teammates. Now, something I should point out is I do not have the engine upgrade, which is why we do seem like we're going about 1 mile an hour. I've already researched the Type 71, but yeah, I don't have the engine, so a bit unfortunate, I guess, for my playstyle, but as you can see, once you get up to speed, the tank is actually pretty decent. We got the enemy Conqueror off to the side, and the Jagdtiger's all the way in the back. We did get penned in the side armor, but that's not the end of the world, as we have still got a pen out in return. Our T-77 is also going to get some pretty decent slapperoonies in. We're just going to roll around the corner. I don't really care if this Conqueror penned me, to be real, but I guess he actually didn't have the reload on us, as he never got the shell out. Let's see if we can bait a shot from him. Nah. Come on. Come on, Conqueror. I mean, if our T-77 wants to just roll around the corner, I'll let him kill the guy, because he's going to bleed some health for it, so there you go. Alright, let's roll on up a bit. See if we can spot anybody over here. I know the Jagdtiger was in the back, and there you go. Nice penetration into the enemy Jagdtiger. The T-44 also just got ammo racked, which is kind of insane. Jagdtiger's still just going to sit out in the open. Bounces my halt. We get another nice heat pen right into his tank. The only downside of loading heat is obviously you're going to lose a decent chunk of alpha damage, but that's not too much of a worry for us. Get another nice pen right into the lower plate of the Jagdtiger. Just like that, we've dealt a pretty solid chunk. We're going to reload one more shell, except this time we're not going to shoot the Jagdtiger. We're going to hit the Scorpion G with a 512 damage high explosive, because who doesn't want to get at a nice HE chunk? Alright, well, the Jagdtiger's a pretty easy clear in front of us. We're going to get a nice pen right into his lower plate for 439, and the Jagdtiger gets finished off. Just like that, the Scorpion G is going to get cleared by the T-77. And all that's left at this point is an ISU-152 and an Object 752K. If that Object 752 had played towards heavy side, this may have been a trickier game. I don't think it would have been that hard, but it definitely could have been trickier. But because these two players decided to go over towards A side, I think that their chances of winning got seriously dwindled. So at this point, we are going to make our way into the front line. Now, again, the mobility is not great on this tank, but it's good enough that we should be able to get a nice shot into the ISU. There you go, nice 214 damage shot, finishing off that player. Now we're going to make our way right into the front line. We've already dealt 3,000 damage, which is a great example to showcase that the DPM is solid. The penetration, as you noticed, is plenty. I mean, the vehicle just works so well in any situation you put it in. So we're going to climb over the little hill here. We're going to use our gun depression to get an early shot into the Object 752. And now with the pretty hefty chunk of weight this vehicle has, we're going to ram the 752 for 280 hit points. Then we're going to use that gun depression to get another nice pen into the 752. He shoots the gun barrel of the TVP. That's actually fantastic. And we finish him off. So there you go. Pretty solid first battle. The thing about the types is usually they're not the most exciting games. That's what I always say. Like, you're never going to have the craziest battle in a Type 71 or a Type 68. But these vehicles will always get the job done. I mean, we did 4,300 damage. We didn't block that much, but we didn't really need to. We made 9,300 experience and 102,000 credits. And the main thing I'm obviously looking for is these mooncakes, so I can make my way down the line here and get my 3 free collectible containers. But either way, pretty solid first battle. How much horsepower does the engine even add? Yeah, that's actually a pretty solid chunk, and I obviously need another 17,000, so I'm not going to be getting that anytime soon. Alright, well, let's do one more battle. Let's see if the Type 68 can do just as well. I'm pretty confident it should, though. As I said, this tank really doesn't have weaknesses. It's just a solid all-rounder. Now, Castilla is a map that is mid. Because of the fact that I'm running gun depression, we're not going to have really any mobility. And then we want to make our way over towards A side. We can take a look at their lineup, and we can see a Contra Car 1 Mark II, a Conway, and an AT-15. And I don't know if I want to fight that, but you know what? As much as I hate to say, I'm actually going to go to heavy side. The reasoning is because the Contra Car I wouldn't expect to camp in the back, and if it does, then oh well. The Conway I do expect to sit at the back, and I'm not sure about the AT, but I'm thinking that we can possibly make the crossing over towards mid. And even though we don't have the mobility, as long as we drive in a straight line, we should still go to the same top speed that the Type would normally reach. So we might bleed a little bit of health in this crossing. As you can see, the IS-8 does shoot us. There's the AT bouncing us for 225. But there you go. We are actually able to make this crossing, which is actually pretty solid. Because at this point now we're going to be quite a tricky opponent for our players to deal with. So let's get another nice shot into the IS-8. And this is exactly what we want. Now we are in a super strong holding position, where the enemy players are going to be in a very, very awkward spot. They've got my teammates all on their side, and then they've got me also shooting them, which is obviously not what they want necessarily. So we get another shot into the enemy VK-45. We're up to 1,680 damage at this point. We're going to reload again in another 3 seconds. I think we're going to out-reload this VK as it is. Actually, no, we're not, because he's got the stock gun. It looked like he had the top gun from way back here. It was very hard to tell, but it doesn't really matter, to be completely honest. If he's got the stock gun, he's not going to do all too much to us. Another nice 400 damage shot into his vehicle. You can see where the solid DPM on the Type 68 feels incredible. And, I mean, we're just easily buttering through this poor tank. Let's get another shot into the side of the VK, and look at that. He's already dead, and we are already up to 2,900 damage. We got the AT-15 off to the side. Let's reload and get a nice easy pen right into his vehicle. 500 damage max roll, and just like that, the AT is turned to dust. So in this game, we are just about 3,500 damage in just that short amount of time. We're now going to roll off to the side of the Conway, get a nice HE for 492 in his take, and keep on rolling behind them. The Conway is obviously not much of a threat at this point, and now that he shoots, you're gone! Bye-bye! Okay, well, all that's left is the Contra Caro, and that's about it. Let's be real, there's not much left in this game. So let's just back on up, and let's make sure this Contra Car really can't do much. There you go, nice 528 HE into his vehicle. He's going to drive up the cliff. He's going to get penned most likely by our T-28 Proto, which he does, and we're going to finish him off for 319. All that's left is a T-54D, or a Titan 54D. I have not seen this player at all, and judging that our Jagdpanther is capturing base A with no problems, I would expect this player to be AFK. I could be wrong, but that is my prediction. So, let's see. We're rolling around this corner, and, maybe the player's not AFK. Well, the driving simulator will now begin. Well, weird enough, he never got spotted. Our 50 TP Proto got detected, but that was it. I legit have no clue where the Titan 54D is. Did he deal any damage? That is the real question I have. We did pretty solid, though. 4,837 damage, killed 2 players, got another first class, and another solid chunk of experience. Alright, and the Titan 54D did indeed do 1 shot of damage. Ooh. Yeah, well, I don't know where that player went. I legit have no clue. He is gone, lost in that battle. But, as you can see, the Type 68 is an incredible vehicle, and even though we didn't fight tier 10s, you can see how it will be very fine. The armor's great, gun depression is plenty to work there, and when you add that into the fact that this vehicle does feature 374mm of heat pen, it means that you're never going to have a trouble with penning them. So, at the end of the day, the Type 68 is fantastic. Later today, I'll have a video up on the Type 71, so if you want to see that, make sure to stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.